Good morning, children. Good morning, class 12. So, today I'm going to start economic class. That's your online classes. And the first chapter of your class 12 is regarding demand and law of demand. In class 11, you have learned the basic knowledge of your economics. And in class 12, you're going to learn about a different important aspect of your economy. And starting with your the basic thing, that's your demand and law of demand. Okay, so here I'm going to explain you the topic. You all must listen very properly. Okay, so here today we're going to start. That's your chapter 1, and it consists of your demand and law of demand. First, I'm going to talk about a demand. So what is a demand? So demand is nothing but it is a demand for, it is a quantities that are demanded, okay, by a consumer when they are willing and they are able to purchase at a various rate which are prevailing in the market. So you see, demand is nothing but a consumer. When a consumer is willing to purchase or they are able to purchase at the price which are prevailing in the market, that means your demand, what we require in demand, we require willingness to purchase, and plus it is backed by the purchasing power. So in demand, it a consumer required willingness, and plus it should be backed by the purchasing power. Okay, and the next is about your law of demand. So law of demand state that when the price, so price and commodities plays very important role. So in law of demand, we are going to see an inverse relationship between price and your goods. So you see, in law of demand, when price increases, the quantity demanded demand will always decrease, and when price decreases, your demand will automatically increase and other factor will remain constant. So here, when price increases, demand will decrease, and when price decreases, demand increases, and other factors in demand, there are other factors which you are going to learn in this coming up chapter, that there are other factors which are remaining constant. So today we are going to discuss about law of demand and its factors or the types of your demand. So let's start. Now, the quantities of a commodity which our consumers are willing and are when they are able to buy at a possible price which are prevailing in the market at a particular period of time, it is called a demand. That means demand is always backed by the willingness of a consumer, plus it is the purchasing power. So when a consumer have a willingness plus they have a purchasing power, it is considered to be the effective demand. Today, if a consumer is willing, they have a willingness but does not have a purchasing power, so it is not considered to be a demand. So demand is always backed by your willingness plus it is supported by your purchasing power at a particular period of time. So we are going to see some of the types of demand which is very important. Okay, the first thing we are going to talk about ex-ante and ex-post demand. Okay, so here we are going to talk about ex-post and ex-ante demand. So you see, ex-ante demand means it refers the amount of good that consumers are willing to purchase at a particular time period. So when a consumer is willing to purchase at a particular time period, it is called ex-ante demand. So here a consumer is only willing to purchase. So here only the willingness, it is not backed by the purchasing power. Next is about ex-post demand. So in ex-post demand, the amount of good that the consumer is actually purchasing, that means here there is a willingness plus it is backed by the purchasing power. So in your ex-post demand, the consumer is actually purchasing a commodity during a particular specific time period. so is considered to be your exposed demand. So again I'm repeating, in access and demand only there is a willingness, so the consumer is only willing to purchase, and in exposed demand a consumer is actually purchasing a commodity. So this is the difference between access and an exposed demand. Next comes a joint demand. So joint demands, when it is a demand when two or more goods are jointly demanded. So today everyone's demand many things. So when we demand a single product, at that time it is not a joint demand. So when we demand two or more commodity at a time, at a specific time period, it is considered to be a joint demand. So in joint demand, for example, it can be the demand, like suppose you have a petrol driven vehicle. So when you purchase a petrol driven vehicle, so you have a vehicle plus you require a petrol, so both are jointly demanded. For example, bread and butter. So if you have a bread, you require a butter, so this is a joint demand. Gun and a bullet. So if a person purchases a bullet, so he required to use it, so he required a bullet, so here gun and bullet is jointly demanded. So when two or more goods are jointly demanded, it is considered to be a joint demand. Next is, we are going to talk about derived demand. So derived demand is nothing but it is a demand which arises because of demand of other commodities. So it is the demand which is arises because of demand of the other commodities are considered to be a derived demand. Okay, so derived demand is not direct demand. Derived demand is also considered to be a indirect demand. For example, today you want a house, so your demand is house, but you require the service of different factor of production. You require materials, you require plumber, you require carpenters, you require other material for the construction of the house. So here your demand is house, but indirectly you're demanding the other materials or the factors. So this sort of demand is considered to be your derived demand. Now this was about house, so we can take example of production house also. Today suppose you are a producer of a textile industry, so your demand is clothes. Now your demand is clothes, but to manufacture the clothes you require machineries, you require the service of the labor. So here indirectly you require the service of a labor and the machine, but your direct demand was, your demand was cloth, that is textile. So here this sort of demand is considered to be a derived demand. Next is composite demand. So composite demand is nothing when any goods or commodity they have a multiple uses. Multiple uses means many uses. Okay, so when any goods or commodities has multiple uses, it is called composite demand. For example, electricity. Electricity, it has multiple uses. We can use it in a household, we can use it in a commercial purposes. Computers, computers can be used for several purposes. Steel, iron, aluminium, these all are the example which can be, these all goods or commodity can be used for several purposes. So these all are considered to be your composite demand. So composite demand is nothing which has multiple uses of various uses. So these all were different types of your demand, and in this all different types of demand we need to discuss about individual demand and your market demand too. Now when a commodity is demanded by an individual at a given price at a specific time period is considered to be your individual demand. Market demand means when a group of people they demand goods at a particular price and at a particular specific time period is considered to be your market demand. So this was about your demand. So let's see the most important factor that affect the demand. Today you see in a market, normally when a common people goes to the market, how they demand the goods. The most important thing in our mind comes up the price. People buy more good when the price of the commodity is less. This is the normal phenomena of a human beings, and that's we studied in economics. But in economics only the price does not play important role. There are the other factors which are associated affecting the factors of your demand. So normally we all know Okay, when price is low, people buy more. When the price increases, naturally the demand in any society or area or economy get decreases. So here are some of the factors we are going to see. So the factor which affect the demand. So number one, that's itself is the price of the commodity. So price of the commodity itself is a determination, the most important determination of your demand. Today you see, when I've shown you here, when the price increases, demand decreases. When price decreases, demand increases. So that's the normal phenomenon today when you go to the market. And if you see some of the commodity price is extremely low, you may buy more. And if you see some of the price is extremely high, so in that case you may buy less. So the price itself plays an important role. The next is income of the consumer. Next factor that determines the demand of a commodity is the income of the consumer. Today you see income plays a very vital role. Today if the income of the consumer increases, so no matter in the price of the commodity, people will demand more. But today if the income of the consumer is low, so in that case a consumer may buy less of the commodity. So in your under the income of the consumer, there are three types: normal good we have, inferior good we have, inexpensive good. So we are going to discuss about normal good, we are going to talk about inferior good, and the third point we are going to talk about inexpensive necessities, commodities or good. Now normal good, normal goods are those good which increases with the increase in income. Today you see normal good means the demand of those good increases with the increase in income. Today if your income increases, you may buy more good. If your income falls, you may buy less. So that those type of good are considered to be a normal goods. The normal good, for example, the clothes, stationery items, electronic goods. Today if your income increases, you may buy more goods, and that's considered to be the normal good. And today if your income decreases, so you may postpone your consumption. So these all are considered to be the normal goods. Next is about your inferior goods. So inferior goods are those goods that demand falls with increase in income. So in inferior cases, so in inferior goods, the people may demand less when the income increases. So when income increases, people will buy less of inferior goods. Today you see, if for example a consumer is consuming a certain commodity, for example a rice, if the cost of the rice is 20, here I'm taking the example of the cost of the rice is 20 and the person income is very low, so he may be able to buy only the cost, only the rice which is of rupees 20. Now suddenly if his or her income increases, so they may be not ready to buy the rice which cost is rupees 20. They may prefer to buy the better quality rice. Or if the own price of the commodity falls, if today if the own price of the commodity falls, people they may buy the better quality. So here inferior goods, the consumer will purchase more goods, more inferior goods when the income will decrease, and they will purchase less when income increases. Next is inexpensive necessities. Inexpensive necessities means which are the basic requirement of our life. For example, salt, matchbox. These all are the important. So here, if your income increases or decreases, it does not matter. These are the basic necessities. Here the demand will always remain the same. Here demand does not increases or decreases. So necessity commodity of life. If price increases or decreases or income increases or decreases, but it demand always it will remain a constant. Okay. Next we are going to talk about consumer taste and preference. So consumer taste and preference also plays a vital role in determining the demand of a consumer. Today if the consumer they like more, so naturally the demand for the goods will increase in the market. And today if the consumer dislike, then naturally the demand of that particular product is going to fall from the market. So consumer taste and preference also determine the demand of the goods. Next is price of the related goods. Now see, in price of the related good, we are going to discuss about substitute good and complementary goods. Substitute good means the goods which we can use in place of another. For example, today if you are consuming a coffee and suddenly if the price of the coffee increases, so a consumer may shift to the tea. So these are the substitution effect. So here, when the price of coffee will increase, so people, they may prefer to buy your tea, they may demand more tea, and the demand for the coffee is likely to fall. So here the demand for the tea is likely to get increases. So there are different types of substitute products are in the market. Next is complementary good. Complementary goods are complementary good, it has other name, that is it is jointly or it is jointly consumed by a consumer. For example, it has a quite good relationship. For example, today you see in joint good, for example, petrol driven vehicle and petrol. Today you see if the cost of the petrol increases, then the demand for the vehicle is likely to fall in the market. So here you see, due to the price of the petrol, the demand for the vehicle is decreasing. So this is the cause of your complementary good. If today the cost of the petrol will decrease, so naturally the vehicle of different brand company, it will increase in the market. So this is the effect of your complementary good, and complementary goods are also considered to be your joints which are jointly demanded. Next is consumer expectation. Now consumer expectation also plays a very vital role in determining the demand. Now today if a consumer expect that price of the commodities are likely to increase in the future, so what at the present the consumers are going to do, at the present the consumers are going to demand more. If vice versa, if the consumers came to know that some of the product or goods, if its price is going to decrease in the future, so they may buy less. So consumer expectation also plays a vital role in determining demand of the product. Next is consumer credit facility. So consumer credit facility in this modern, in the global, today all the countries are globally attached with one another. Today credit systems plays a very vital role. Now due to the credit facilities, today the demand has increased for the two-wheeler, four-wheeler, housing facilities, electronic goods. So you see today most of the financing institutes or the bank, they provide credit facility. So due to credit facility, the demand for various goods and services has increased the recent times. Next is demonstration effect. Demonstration effect, it means it is a consumption which is done by a person and it is just seen by your friends or neighbors in a society. For example, today if you purchased any product, suppose you purchased a very good dress, so when it is seen by your friends or it is seen by your neighbors, they may try to demonstrate it, they may try to demand the same product. So in this, so demonstration effects is also one of the major effect of you increasing the affecting the demand. The next is size and composition of the market. So size and composition of the market also determine the demand. Today if the size of the market is large, then naturally the demand for goods and services will increase in the market. Next is populations. If today the number of population is more, so naturally the demand will increase. For example, in metro cities the demand is more due to huge population, and in village market the demand is less. Why? Because of the number of population is quite less. And the most important thing about here, the composition of, under the composition of populations, if in a certain area if number of children are more, that means the demand for the toys, sweet will increase. If today young people are more, that means the station good, the dresses, electronic goods will increase. If today the number of old people are more, then naturally medicines and other things will increase in that particular area. So you see size and composition of the population also determine the demand of the goods in an economy. Next is distribution of income. Now income also plays a very vital role. Today if the income of a people in a certain area increases, then naturally the demand for goods and services is also likely to increase. Next is climate factor. So climate factor also plays a very vital role. You see, when the temperature increases, the demand for cold drinks, the demand for fan, AC, ice cream increases. Vice versa, when it is a winter, so the demand for woolen clothes, room heater, it increases. So climatic factor also plays a vital role in determining the demand of the product. Next is government policies. So government policies also plays a vital role in determining the demand. Today, if government increases the taxes, so naturally the taxes will lead to rise in the price of the product. And as per the law of demand, when price will increase, the demand is going to get fall. But if in the other hand, if the government increases its expenditure in the constructions of your infrastructure, that is your road, railway, bridge, etc., then naturally the generation of income will increase. So that will increase the demand of various goods and services in the economy. So government policies also determine the demands of various goods and services in the economy. So this was about your determination of demand and types of demand. In the next class, we are going to do a different types of your diagram based on your law of demand. Okay, thank you.